Welcome. My name is Wade Herring, and for the second year I'll be the MC for today's event. When I was a boy 15 years ago, I dreamed of becoming Sonny Dixon, and now that dream has come true. Or since WSAV was here, I dreamed of becoming Tina Ty Shaw, and that dream has come true, kind of, sort of. But welcome to the second annual BizPitch Savannah, a business competition presented by the Savannah chapter SCORE. In case you're not familiar with SCORE, it is the nation's largest provider of free business mentoring and educational programs for aspiring small business owners. To tell us more about SCORE and BizPitch Savannah, I'm here to introduce Michael Siegel, Chapter Chair of Savannah SCORE.
The woo-woos of my family. Good afternoon. Thank you, Wade. We want to welcome you to BizPitch Savannah 2019. We're so pleased to again be able to bring this really exciting event to all of you. We're here to encourage, support, and celebrate entrepreneurism and the role of small business in our Savannah community. The good news is that wasn't my family. SCORE's mission is to help small business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs around the country to grow successful businesses. We do this by providing free business mentoring services and educational programs. As a result of the assistance of our fantastic team of 35 SCORE mentors here in the Savannah area, our clients over the last several years have been able to establish over 300 new businesses and create over 500 new non-owner jobs. And because of the contributions that our team has made to the community, we were so pleased to have been named SCORE's 2019 Mid-Market Chapter of the Year. So, you know who that is, and he'll be here, but not at the moment. Okay, we're going to get started. 29 aspiring entrepreneurs submitted applications to try to be finalists for BizPitch. The variety and creativity of their applications was just terrific. Our application review committee reviewed all the applications and chose the 7 that they felt would be the best finalists. The committee was chaired by senior SCORE mentor Al Torpy, along with Becky Brownlee, the area director of UGA Small Business Development Center, and senior SCORE mentors Dennis Healy and Ken Zapp. And they did a great job with a difficult task. Thank you very much. Also, each finalist was assigned a SCORE mentor to assist them with the preparations. I'd like to recognize these volunteers now for the work they've done on behalf of these wonderful people here. Ned Duffy, Tom Greenlaw, Jill Johns, Gary Johnson, Dan Short, who couldn't be with us today, Mark Sutton, there he is, and Al Torpy. And I want to give a real special shout out to Tom Greenlaw for doing such a great job as our event coordinator and planner. Wonderful. Okay. Our panel of judges is really a distinguished group of business owners, executives, consultants, and entrepreneurs. So allow me to introduce you to them. First of all is Carl Biafra. Carl is Business Development Specialist, the City of Savannah's Office of Business Opportunity. Jen Benet, okay, that's good. Okay, Jen Benet, Vice President of Innovation and Entrepreneurism with the Savannah Economic Development Authority, and if that wasn't a big enough job, she's also Executive Director of the Creative Coast. Dean Burnett, Managing Business Partner, Business Broker for Best Business Brokers. Radford Harrell, Savannah Catalyst for the Advanced Technology Development Center and also the CEO of Talent Soup. Jen Jenkins. Jen is the owner of Foxy Loxy Cafe, and you may also know Jen for her involvement with the Coffee Fox, Henny Penny Art Space and Cafe, and the best darn vegan restaurant in the city, the Fox and Fig Cafe. And last but not least, Lisa Narcisse, Market Leader 4 and Vice President with BB&T. This event would not be possible without the amazing and generous support of our sponsors and donors. This year, our gold level sponsors are the City of Savannah and BB&T. Thank you so much for your generosity. Our silver sponsor is Mass Mutual, who's just a terrific national business partner with SCORE all around the country. Hey, look at this. See, you come in late enough, look what you get, right? And our bronze level sponsors this year, we have the Small Business Assistance Corporation, Savannah Office of Business Opportunity, Savannah Economic Development Authority, Wells Fargo, the private bank, and the Savannah Area Chamber of Commerce. Thanks to all of you. A large number of local businesses and organizations have also supported our efforts in a lot of different ways. In addition to the generous financial support of our sponsors, the following companies are generously donating their services to the winners to help them launch their businesses, and also to the event directly to allow us to present this special event to you. So here they are. Ad Specialty with promotional items, Carriage Trade Public Relations with public relations services, Kenkel Design with logo design and ad design, UGA's SBDC business education programs, Gatehouse Media, free ads in the Savannah Morning News and savannah.com. Advanced Technology Development Center, Georgia Southern University with a 1-year free membership to their fantastic Business Innovation Group. Hunter McLean Attorney, doing with legal services. SalesDialers.com for website development. Sand Dollar Accounting for accounting and QuickBooks support. Pod on the Go with live streaming. Thank you, Raz. Buy Local, 1-year free membership. Savannah Downtown Business Association, a business spotlight opportunity at one of the Downtown Business Association's luncheons. Habersham Beverage and End Market for refreshments. Georgia Speech Coaching for public speaking coaching services. Stafford Media Group, doing our videography today. Stagefront for doing our audio. And Howard Hackney, who is helping us with our photography services. And thanks also to members of GSU's Rotaract and Square One Group. These young people are here and really providing great help in setting everything up and helping us get things together. So thanks to all of you. Okay.
First, as a matter of courtesy to our, come on, Mike, now I am. As a matter of courtesy to our presenters today, if you have not already silenced your phone or turned it off, please do so. If you are guilty of your phone going off today, Rudy Giuliani will be appointed to represent you. So, here's how today's competition will work. Each contestant will have 4 minutes to make their pitch to our panel of judges and to you, the audience. The judges will then have 4 minutes for questions and comments for each presenter. Each judge will evaluate and score the pitches. After all the pitches have been presented, the judges will get together, to deliberate and choose 3 winners. And the 3 winners are co-equal. No 1, 2, 3, all number 1. Everyone gets a trophy. The 3 equal winners will each receive $2,500 in cash and over $8,000 in professional services from our 10 service donors to help launch their new businesses. Now, we move on to the main event. These are our finalists selected to pitch their businesses today. They have drawn numbers to determine the order of presentation. SCORE mentor Dennis Healy will be our official timekeeper to keep us on track. Are you ready to hear about some great new business ideas? Yes. Well, let's get started. Our first finalist is LB Elms with the Culturist Union. And she will tell you, yeah, let's give it up. She will tell you about this idea they have for a co-working space. We also want to welcome LB's business partner, Carmen McCullum, who is here with us today. And by the way, one thing that I have learned as a law partner is in today's world, and I cast no judgment one way or the other, I'm just talking about clarity of communication. When you talk about someone's business partner or law partner, that's what you need to say. Because if you talk about someone's partner, you get a lot of raised eyebrows and curious looks. But with that, we've got her business partner here, and LB Elms is going to come forward and tell us about her idea.
Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me? I was trying to see if I was not. Okay, great. Okay, hello everyone. I am LB Elm and I am the founder of the Culturist Union. As a diversity, equity, and inclusion professional who has had intense experience working with co-working spaces, I can tell you that we have a serious problem. Professional people of color do not have a space to collectively thrive here in Savannah. We often find ourselves on the outside looking in, relocating to different cities, or assimilating into communities that do not fully embrace our unique culture or perspective. But the Culturist Union is the answer. TCU is a private membership, co-working space, retail place, and cultural hub where POCs and their allies can build together, commune with one another, and sell their products or services to the local community. At TCU, you get more than beer on tap and a hot desk. We partner with local businesses and groups to curate and present workshops and trainings by authors, artists, and entrepreneurs, all to help our members grow professionally and creatively. We also are a green company who care about sustainable energy, plants, and sunlight. So there's about 146,000 people in the city of Savannah, but there are only 7,000 POCs that make over 50 grand a year. TCU wants to capture just 10% of that market, and at a standard industry rate of $250 a month, there is an opportunity to garner $2.1 million in annual sales. That is just in private memberships alone. So we know that there are other co-working spaces that you can work in the city, and there are other workshop-based retail places. But as the first of its kind, the Culturist Union fills a gap that is addressed by no other business in coastal Georgia. Now, I already said that we have a 30% revenue for our co-working space, but as a multifaceted company, we have been able to address the needs of our members and generate additional streams of revenue. And before opening in early 2020, we are projected to have 100 founding members in our co-working space and have an upward climb over the next 3 years, all due to our strategic marketing strategy. Phase 1 of our market strategy has afforded us the opportunity to test our business through networking events and generate an organic following of over 1,000 individuals. We have also been able to implement phase 2 with the WTOC newscast this past Wednesday. We have partnered with iFund Women to crowdfund for $10,000, and we want to let you know that we're not building just a co-working space, we're really uniting a divided community, and we want to offer each and every one of you an opportunity to take space with us. Again, my name is Elby Elm, and alongside my business partner, Carmen McCullum, we are the founders of the Culturist Union, a co-working space, cultural hub, and retail space intentionally designed for you. Thank you.
Judges, any questions for Elby?
You can use that. You mentioned your following. What does that represent? How are you finding these folks? How are they finding you? And how are you communicating with your initial market?
Definitely. So the first opportunity that we did was we started doing information sessions via Meetup, social media, good old grassroots flyers on a tree, and through that and then through just word of mouth, we've been able to garner those followers.
Are you able to go back with the slides? Can I just see the revenue streams again?
Definitely. Here you go.
Okay, I just want to take it in for a second.
Yeah.
It's fab.
Have you done much research for the type of location, the building, and that sort that would be required to for something like this to function?
Definitely. So as I said before, I worked exclusively with a women's exclusive co-working space in Minnesota, and what I've discovered is there's a couple of things. People don't go to co-working spaces to necessarily work, just like they don't go to coffee shops just for the coffee. So our space is, we'll be focusing on the ambiance of a space, the multiple utility use of the space, and being able to take this huge concept and kind of micro it down into the smallest square footage that we possibly can serve our people.
And how much is that?
Ideally, anywhere between 2,000 square feet and 3,500. No more questions? Come on, give me something. Come on, Jen, give me something.
I was gonna say I probably need to recuse myself from asking questions because I kind of run a co-working space.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
So, our next presenter, our second finalist, is Charlene Diamond with Integra Nutrix, which means healing nurse. Charlene, come on up and share your business idea.
Good afternoon. My name is Charlene Diamond. I am passionate about helping others and am proud to introduce you to Integra Nutrix, the Latin translation of healing nurse. Americans with chronic diseases such as heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes die as much as 20 years sooner than healthier populations. These premature deaths are preventable. How? Little technical, sorry. People fail to make necessary lifestyle changes. Patients are either placed on a strictly medical regimen or adopt a solely holistic approach. Each modality in and of itself is incomplete. They overlook the synergistic power of blending traditional medical solutions with proven effective holistic therapies. Our solution is to offer a unique multidisciplinary whole person approach to chronic disease management that integrates 3 elements of success which are crucial in yielding long-term results: traditional nursing services, proven effective holistic therapies, and lifestyle coaching, all in a highly personalized fashion. Our initial target market is 280 patients, which represent 2% of the diabetics in Savannah. In Savannah, there are several medical facilities and holistic practitioners that address chronic disease. Gaining popularity is the use of online wellness services. However, our strength is personalized care. We draw from each of the 3 elements of success to develop a unique plan of care centered around each patient we serve. As the only board-certified holistic nurse in Chatham County, founder and president of the Savannah Holistic Nurses Association, I offer distinctive expertise. Having an excellent reputation and contacts in the community only strengthens our ability to establish a strong network referral. We're expanding our current marketing strategies through website enhancement, increased social media presence, blogging, and engaging in public speaking events. Our office doors have been open in the heart of the Medical Arts District for 5 months with a total patient census of 24. Adding to our momentum is the fact that I'm a featured speaker at the American Holistic Nurses Association's regional conference in January of 2020. Revenue for our next 6 months is based on an attainable goal of 40 patients per week and sales for my essential oil product line. Having low overheads and variable expenses that cover rent, utilities, and maintenance, we project a net income of $54,600. Implementing a scalable staffing model that is adapted from the Cleveland and Mayo Clinic's Department of Integrative Medicine, our goal is to open a 2nd location in Chatham County by the end of year 2. Year 3, we hope to branch out into Bryan and Effingham counties, bringing our total projected net income to $700,000. In conclusion, Integra Nutrix offers a unique service at a time in our society when acceptance, do I need to stop? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Great job.
All right, thank you.
So if you're going to give me a minute, we have a gate crasher here.
Mr. Mayor, welcome. Come on up. I'm going to borrow this right now. For those of you that do not know, Mayor Deloach is an entrepreneur and small business owner himself. Yep. He's a huge, huge supporter of the small business community. And due to his personal intervention, this is why we're able to do this in this amazing venue today. Thank you.
Got it. I think. Is it working? Yep, there we go. It is great to be here today. I'm going about 5 million miles an hour. I've met myself twice already today. But in reality, I was across the river, had to do one for the running program. We got started. What is it? Rock and Roll Marathon. Give me a minute. I told you I was in circles. But in reality, I was over there doing one a feature over there and had to talk, so I got here late. I apologize. I was trying to get here on time, but I just didn't make it. That being said, I am the guy that loves small business. I can't tell you how much or how passionate I am about small business. And I described small business as the last cowboys. The last cowboys. And my business is really, you know, and no pun intended, we're getting right down to the dirt of it whenever in my business, because I'm a landscape guy. And, you know, people look at you and they wonder, really? I mean, when I hear hers, I feel pretty good, because I hear about $700,000 bottom line and stuff like that. That really it kind of gets your juices going. I never have, you know, everything I projected, I hadn't quite got there. I'm working on it. But in reality, it's the drive to make it happen that really makes me get excited. You know, the bottom line varies back and forth, but in reality, it's the opportunity to do it. To get up in the morning time and go out the door, whether you're gonna make 50 cents that day or whether you're gonna make $5 million. And I've never seen that either. But in reality, it's that time that you get up and you go out that door. I can't describe the feeling. The hair on my arm gets up when I get to talking about it, because it is that excitement for an entrepreneur. Figure out something and make it happen. Doing those projections. I love doing projections and seeing how close I can hit that mark. You know? And I have done a great job sometimes, and I have done a lousy job sometimes. But that is what excites me most. And to have all these people in here and doing all of that entrepreneurial stuff is amazing. The last cowboys, cowgirls also. But it is. I look at those kids going out the door, and I realize I was one of them one day. You know, several years ago, I was in my pickup truck, and I was going out that door, and I was excited, and I was going to conquer the world. Nothing like that feeling. I don't care. If I could bottle it, I would be an entrepreneur. But I wanted to come here today. He told me whenever I found out about it, I wanted to just let them know there's nothing like it. If you ever get in it, if you ever get it in you, you can never get it out of you. And if you're here, you got it in you. Tell me, do you hate getting up in the morning? Do you really? Or you do your work at night, then that's what it is. I can understand. I understand, okay. But that's my point in all this. It's the love of what we do. And to have people that can come and help you design these programs like she was describing up there, so that you have a scalable model and you can do that. Because we didn't have that scalable model. I wasn't that quick and I wasn't that smart. So we ended up going across the U.S. doing the landscaping, and we did it about the same way. You know, you'd look at it, you'd say, yeah, I think I can make $1 there, and you go to Texas, you go to New Mexico, you go to Arizona, and then all of a sudden you start adding it up and said, good Lord, I've got a lot of bills here I got to pay. But it's a great feeling. But I'm here only just come in here and tell you thank you for being in business. Is it 60% of the business that is generated in our economy is based on small business, or is it 80? Which one is it? 80, isn't it? Yeah. You are the cornerstone of America. This is where America is. I like all those other big businesses because I get to do some of their work. I really like that. But in reality, there's nothing like that. Get up every morning and be pumped to go out the door and get her done. I thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for being here. Enjoy yourself and make $1 million. Make $1 million. Thank you.
back now and
with a Q&A from our judges.
You need the mic back, please.
So can we go back to the finance slide?
Yes.
Sorry.
Here? Or the one before?
Back.
So revenue,
Yes.
I'm confused with the expenses per month.
Okay.
So that seems really low, and especially when you get to the next slide and you start scaling, because you're gonna need 5 different physical locations. You're gonna need 2 nurses at each staff, so that's
Yes.
fairly high salaries because
Yes.
they're, you know,
Sure.
licensed. And so I'm a little confused how the model builds out and that's income instead of revenue.
Well, how we have it now is I would hire independent nurse contractors and take a 60% of their cut of what they make. And that's how I'm operating now in the office that I'm in. So that's what helps keep the expenses low, because it's based on how much I bring in versus paying a monthly rent.
Okay.
Mhm. Yes.
So it's a virtual office? You don't,
No, it's not a virtual office.
so your rent, is that under your variable expenses?
It is under my variable expenses. There's someone else that owns the building, and I use a room for my clients and pay a percentage to this business owner. Mhm. That's how I do it.
Is this a patient pay model?
It's patient pay, also third party as well. I do have a medical director, so anything that he can bill for, we can bill through that as well. Mm-hmm.
So as a person with a chronic illness,
Mhm.
how do you anticipate working with the doctors that are associated with those chronic illnesses?
Well, I do collaborate. For example, I have one patient who is expecting her second child and is diabetic for the first time because of the pregnancy. So I was referred by her OBGYN, and I'm in direct communication. And the patient will usually bring their plan with, I'm taking this much medicine at this point, and I'll help with any type of education that she may need. She can drop in any time for me to check her blood sugar, blood pressure, those types of things, and I'm just in constant communication with her physician.
One more question for
Sure.
you. Can you go back to your marketing slide, please?
Sure.
Okay. Where do you see the most traction for you from all of those?
The most traction I would feel would be word of mouth, honestly, from being in the community. I've been an employee both of Memorial for many years and Savannah Country Day for the past 10 years. I have a lot of contacts, and the patients that I've had so far have been referred from previous patients. Anyone else? Thank you.
Wonderful, very good.
Thank you, Charlene. Our next presenters are going to talk about compost. My law firm recently celebrated its 140th anniversary. And in honor of that anniversary, I grew facial hair for the very first time. I rode a horse to and from work. And I gave up indoor plumbing and used an outhouse, much to the surprise of everyone on East St. Julian Street. But we're not talking about that kind of compost today. We're talking about food waste today. Our third finalists are Maria Vaughn and Michael Weedham with Core Compost. Maria, Michael, come on up and lay some compost on us.
The U.S. landfills or incinerates approximately 240 million tons of trash every year. At least 20%, or 48 million tons of that alone, is just in food waste. As a visual, that's enough material to fill and line 18-wheelers from New York to LA 10 times over. But don't lose hope. The good news is 50% of our trash is biodegradable or compostable, with the 20% in food waste and the remaining being in paper products and yard trimmings. Hi, I'm Maria Vaughn.
And I'm Michael Weedham.
And we intend to change this problem with core compost, a natural alternative to landfills. Since the beginning of this year, we have been providing a weekly disposal service to businesses and their organic waste. This pilot has processed around 10,000 pounds each month, and through nature's microbes, we've been able to turn that into a natural fertilizer called compost. It's time that we view our waste as a natural resource instead of a burden, and a time where sustainable and regenerative practices must be made to solve environmental problems. Trash is a problem for everyone, and it costs every single time it's moved. Through business-to-business means, our first sources of revenue will be in collection, whether it be through our own private hauling services or through local partnered waste haulers and their disposal fees. This material will then be processed into a finished product that will be marketed to various agricultural and remediation needs. Our future site will turn waste into finished compost in just 8 weeks, designed to retain moisture, nutrients, and hold consistent heat to kill pathogens and weed seeds. Extremely effective in emissions, odor, vector, and leachate control, and it can all be done on a very small footprint of just 2 acres. We are currently looking for this suitable dream location now.
Thank you, Maria. A regenerative design that captures and recycles water on site and uses solar or biodiesel to operate equipment, with a perimeter of diverse native plants to act as remediation, erosion, and boundary control, as well as creating a beautiful aesthetic modeled after nature. Startup expenses vary from $50,000 to $75,000 depending on site-specific design and used equipment. A first-year projection of 500 tons a month will be at max capacity for receiving from a local partnered waste hauler and our own hauling client profile. With 300 yards of compost to market a month, we have a first-year revenue of $300,000 with a net profit projected at $64,000. This volume and projection are scalable to 4 times this on the same footprint. Who is the competition? We are the competition. With a permit by rule from the EPD, operators training from the U.S. Compost Council, a 10-month pilot, and consultants with over 60 years in composting experience, we are ready. A quarterly footprint analysis and compost will be given to clients. We'll use social media to heavily promote these clients, as well as bring education and awareness to the community. At farmers markets and seasonal events, we will offer education, free drop-offs, and retail. Core Compost is ready to make a difference by using the code of return, return to nature. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Well done. Your current pilot, where are you processing now?
That's a good question. We are actually processing at Bethesda on the farm, and that's how we originally came up with the idea to do it. It was for personal amendments because the farm has been practiced organically, but soil erosion can be a problem, and just bringing amendments back into the soil. So we started thinking about that as far as the reality. Well, particularly Michael, because he was an employee there at the farm.
I'll keep going. Of the brands that you mentioned, the companies that are using you currently, are they using their participation in any of their branding and positioning and letting their clientele know that they're consciously moving this waste stream to you guys?
Like we said, we are using social media to help promote these businesses, and they at the same time are using social media to promote us. We usually get an image from their staff, them doing the task of separating the food waste, and then in turn we give back a footprint analysis. And that's basically how it's been working now. We do have some window clings we'd like to offer to people, but more people are on social media than looking at windows.
All right, so say you find your dream 2 acres. How do you go from 8 people on a pilot to 100 restaurants and food sources quickly?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, we haven't really attempted to promote as far as gaining that business, because we want to stay under the means of being the pilots and using it for personal amendments. But to increase to a commercial scale facility, the one plus side is we can approach other waste haulers to bring food to us, just like a landfill would. So we would charge them disposal fees based upon volume. And that's why we have the pretty confident projection that I think we can get a waste hauler on board that's going to want to be more green, especially if they're paying the same exact price or something very comparable to that, and we're at a good location. So that's why location is really important, and also in order for us to remain green, because we really want to make a difference for the city as far as diversion. But once we can get on track, we will use like the farmers market and things like that to try to encourage more community development, offer like free drop-offs and different things that we can try to just get the word out.
Just to add on to that, our partner local waste hauler has already guaranteed us max capacity. In less than 5 days, we could be at max capacity for our site. We're going to have to divert most of that back to the landfill. So hopefully we can scale this up as we anticipate to be able to take even more of that waste in.
And that's just our first step, because with the EPD, like the very kind of first gateway in is 500 tons a month. And then we will try to get the system down, and as quickly as we feel like we're able to handle it, then we'll try to scale up.
Hello.
Hello.
So the the compost that you end up with after the fact, you're going to then market that back and sell that. Like, what part of your income or revenue are you thinking would come from that in versus the revenue that's coming from charging people to haul it,
Yes,
haul it away?
Definitely. So with receiving and selling of the retail compost, we are looking at about a 35 split, both of them, 35 and 35, with our own hauling making up the other 30% of that picture.
And when we're bringing in, 500 or more tons a month, we're going to have to move that product very quickly. So that's why we put like so many different target markets, because, golf courses, parks, we could do bagged retail. There's a lot of different ways we can move it, and we plan on just keeping it locally, but there's definitely some distributors and so on that could probably market the product for us as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Our fourth finalist is Latora Bostic, chef, caterer, owner of Geechee Grub, which makes great Geechee food. So, Latora, tell us more about it.
By a show of hands, by a show of hands, how many people, testing, can you hear me? Yes. By a show of hands, how many people are familiar with the Gullah culture? The Gullah are descendants of slaves who live or still lives on the coastal islands and low country in the southeastern United States. They held on to unique customs that were either lost, abandoned, or forgotten. Many traditions were passed from one generation to the next through language, agriculture, and spirituality. As the Gullah culture threatens to disappear, Geechee Grub will stand with the remnant in keeping the culture alive. Hello, my name is Latora Bostic. I am a native of Savannah, Georgia, and I am the First Lady of Geechee Grub. Geechee Grub is a Gullah cultural takeout restaurant. Becky Mitchell, the soul of Geechee Grub, is my mom. And she was born to parents raised in the early 1900s. The natives taught her much. As descendants of enslaved Africans, Geechee Grub continues the cooking techniques of their ancestors. My mother, my daughter, and myself teamed up to bring Savannah a taste of our heritage. We got started by word of mouth. Someone would taste the food that we prepared at an event, and they would ask us, how much will we charge for a pan of this or a dish of that? We would give them the price and prepare the dish. We have also held pop-up events, excuse me, where we sold boxed lunches and dinners. What you are about to taste is the truth. Once you try it, you will buy it. I am here to show you why Geechee Grub will make you change the southern food you eat forever. Gullah food is as old as the South and as ancient as the world. The main dishes include rice and seasonal seafood. You will also notice the omnipresence of okra, which is one of the seeds the Africans brought over. The yard, the garden, the woods, and the water is where we went for most of our food supply. The cuisine's time to fully be appreciated has come. Our culture not only includes fantastic food, but also a beautiful language. Known for its southern hospitality, Savannah has millions of visitors each year, and Geechee Grub expects to sell an experience from back in the day to the been ya and come ya to Savannah, Georgia. Like a good gumbo, Gullah cooking is layered with ingredients, flavors, and cooking techniques. There are only a handful of good ethnic restaurants in the area, and none specialize in Gullah cuisine. We are convinced that there is a great market for an eatery offering authentic Gullah foods. Geechee Grub
not sure what that next slide is, but I want to see it. And maybe the next one. Thank you.
Can you go back to your marketing slide, please?
Yes. Marketing?
And you can talk with your mouth full.
That's very good.
We're busy. And
It's very yummy, by the way. I come from a Cajun background, so we got a little similarity with our gumbos and different things, and fricassee, sauce piquant. I love all that kind of stuff. What about your food cost? You know, if you're wholesaling or if you've got a restaurant, and have you delved much into what that would be in a production way?
Well, we've projected sales upward of 150,000 in the first year, and that is projected on us being open 6 days a week, 8 hours a day, with an average price of our meals ranging from $7 to $11.
So with an average cost for a plate or a meal of $7, what percentage of that is your food cost?
It's going to be 35%.
Okay.
So I have 2 questions. First is really important.
Okay.
Is there gluten in your product? In this?
Yes.
Okay, so somebody else can mine, so I don't get sick. Secondarily, location. So you're thinking of opening a physical location?
Yes.
Where?
Well, we were considering a spot on Pennsylvania Avenue, and that's what the projections are based upon. However, we're reconsidering because we would like to reach more tourists and maybe consider a sit-down place as well.
Excellent.
What about a food truck? I mean, you got some one-pot meal kind of things that you could, like these things, you could serve off of a food truck if you had a location. Have you investigated that?
And we're looking at that possibility as well.
Let's get those other slides again, the financial.
Okay.
Any other questions for
Latora?
Can you tell us today how many box lunches you sell and how many caterings you do?
It varies. We have held box lunches and dinners for Little League football teams, and then we've just done fundraisers to assist loved ones with help generating funds. So on average, we have sold between 100 to 150 box lunches, and that's in one day.
Any other questions, judges?
All right. Thank you for
Latora brings forth a concept that is local and authentic, and the food will be so good there'll be none left over, but if there's any left over, you can give it to Core Compost. So I've been told I have to give the judges more time, so I will next perform for you Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. I think they're about done. I'll go ahead and introduce our next speaker, Andrew Holnall, with the concept Camphibian. And as you'll hear when Andrew comes forward, Andrew is a true Southerner.
Good afternoon, judges. I present to you the Camphibian. My name is Andrew. I'm a design engineer with 20 years experience in manufacturing. This is my family. We absolutely love the outdoors. It has brought our family closer together. Everybody raise their hand if they enjoy vacation and travelling. And who enjoys being by the water, fishing, boating? Okay, that's pretty much everybody. We do too. It is our passion to promote this lifestyle to as many people as possible. Let's explore more. A travel trailer is a towable living space. It is the most popular recreational vehicle for families. It is a major market that is continuing to grow. But there is a problem, because you cannot tow a travel trailer and a boat at the same time. If you were to try and triple tow, this is dangerous and illegal in some states. Now, if you're feeling brave and strong, you could try this. So it is not possible to tow a travel trailer and boat, until now. The Camphibian is a solution. It is a travel trailer with a boat integrated inside. The boat becomes a living space, and it suits a family of 4. The boat is easily accessible, and all this is feasible by advanced engineering and manufacturing. The Camphibian boat has the space and stability like a pontoon boat. It is lightweight and fast like a small fishing boat, and not only that, there's a kayak stowed in each outrigger. The alternatives would be a truck camper that can pull a boat, but you are limited on space. Fifth wheels and motorhomes are expensive and heavy options. If you were to go and buy a 20-foot conventional travel trailer and a boat and a trailer, that total cost you're looking at about $30,000. That's 2 separate towable items. Now with the Camphibian, you get the ultimate package. You get the travel trailer and the boat in one towable unit, all for $22,000. A 24-foot travel trailer and an 18-foot boat, you're looking at about $45,000. The Camphibian, $33,000. The road ahead is to finish the design, build and test a prototype, follow the design patterns, then secure private investment or establish manufacturing partnerships. Towards the end of the year, we'll sell 5 units. Second year, 1 unit per week. And then the third year, even more. And we feel this is a conservative projection. Thank you for listening, and welcome to a new era of optimized and simplified travel with the Camphibian.
I have a question for you. Have you thought of selling to larger big box stores as well?
Right now we're just focusing on getting the product built and tested before we go into marketing and selling.
Did you attend Overland Expo?
Pardon?
Did you attend Overland Expo?
I have not.
East? No, it was a few weeks ago.
No.
There's nothing on the market like this currently that integrates both the boat and the...
I've tried to find it. I can't find it.
And where are you from originally?
England.
Yeah. Good. You guys travel a lot.
I'm kind of struggling with
market, right? Because you talk about the kind of trailer market, or
Yeah.
recreational vehicle market, and there's the boating market, but what's the overlap?
Well, it's a new market because there is no product like this. I mean, the only thing that's close is the RVs that can tow the boat, but you can't really get accurate numbers for that. I mean, we probably could if we did a big survey or something, but it's difficult to find true numbers.
Okay, and the other question would be, if you're only, look, it seemed to me from your number slide that you might be leaving a lot of money on the table, right? So if somebody's buying an RV today and a boat today, they're spending a lot more than they are on the combined.
Yeah.
So you might be leaving money on the table. But I don't understand the market, so.
Okay, well, that price is as a 8% profit margin. It could go higher, and we just want to deliver the best product at the most affordable price for the people. It's about bringing families together. It's not about profit, not huge profit.
So, when you get up into the higher volumes where you're selling one a week, and you have distributors or retail centers, somewheres, would you like the RV camping world and things like that would be your customers?
Well, if we can get private investment, ideally we'd like to manufacture these ourselves and sell directly. But if we do go the other way, we can put one up in Bass Pro Shops in Camping World and use distributors.
Are you going to do your own manufacturing in the low volumes when you're talking about 5 for the first year? And so on?
That will probably be subcontract initially. Well, it depends if we have the private investor that has that investment. If it is subcontract, then the prices will probably be a little higher.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to get that off the screen for you.
Since I've been told I have to give the judges more time, I'm going to tell you the story of the English professor that I met at Emory University. My son was looking at colleges, and Emory University was stressing the liberal arts. Over and over again, they were stressing the liberal arts. And we met with the professor who taught history, but he was originally from England, and he stressed the liberal arts at Emory. And I finally raised my hand and I said, but sir, professor, what about the stereotype that Emory, everyone that goes to Emory is pre-med and that Emory is part of a large medical industrial complex? What about that stereotype? And this Englishman said immediately in response, well, the thing about a stereotype is there's a certain kernel of truth to it, isn't there? And he said, but after organic chemistry in the sophomore year, there's a great resurgence of interest in the liberal arts. Judges, have you done what you need to do as judges? Then I will move on to my favorite name of the afternoon, Foster Lucchini. Any of you listen to NPR? Then you are familiar with Sylvia Poggioli. I always love to hear her stories. Well, today we're going to hear from Foster Lucchini with Foster's Place to Ponder. Ms. Lucchini, come on up.
Thank you so much. So I am Fausta Lucchini, a trauma-sensitive coach for compassionate professionals. And I coach people whose work makes the world a better place. Therapists, teachers, social workers, doctors and nurses, first responders. People who are at high risk for compassion fatigue and burnout. The World Health Organization recognizes the problem of burnout, and the Harvard School of Public Health calls it a public health crisis. Burnout costs us between $125 and $190 billion annually in healthcare spending. People with burnout struggle to provide the high quality care they want to offer. They feel less satisfied with their jobs. They miss work more often, and they end up quitting. Over 40% of elementary school teachers quit within their first 5 years. 40% of physicians report signs of burnout. What if they all quit? What would our world look like without them? So what help do we offer them? We tell them to try more self-care. We tell them to, exercise, try yoga, take a bubble bath, get a pedicure. That's not enough. I have over 20 years experience as a licensed therapist, both in private practice and as the director of a community mental health center. I've struggled with compassion fatigue myself. Now I offer trauma-sensitive life coaching, a process that guides professionals to build their own toolbox of skills and a community of support so they can keep doing the work they love. My own struggle led me to become a trauma expert, an educator, and an advocate for other professionals. I don't have all the answers, but I do know the path to take and some pitfalls to avoid so that people can thrive at these challenging jobs. I'd like to work with everyone, but I know that I can't actually do that. So here's the plan. Online, I'm reaching out to therapists and social workers, building on networks I already have. In Savannah, I've had the chance to volunteer on the Chatham County Regional Community Collaborative, and they've invited me to present to them about my work in December. This is a powerful opportunity to make connections with social service, mental health, and school systems in Savannah, and that's where I'll focus my efforts locally. Trauma-sensitive coaching. In 2019, I had 3 individual clients, did a lunch and learn for a doctor's office, 4 workshops, and have a projected revenue of $10,000. In 2020, I'll have 8 individual clients, 2 coaching groups weekly, and 10 workshops, and projected income of $40,000. By 2023, I'll be a consultant with organizations. I'll offer continuing education units for other professionals. And by 2025, I'll have an ebook, an online course, train other professionals, and project a revenue of $175,000. Compassionate professionals are the people who take care of us. But who takes care of the carers? I do. Questions?
Back to your revenue slide.
Mm-hmm.
So you identify in 2025 is when we start to scale you.
Pretty much. That's,
Okay.
Yeah. If I can figure out a better way to do it, I promise I will.
Okay. Are you producing any content now? Are you blogging?
Oh, I am. Oh, gosh, yes.
Okay.
I'm blogging, and I have Facebook, and I have Twitter, and I have Instagram, and I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm doing all the things.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, I
Along those same lines, I mean, what would it take for you to be able to move faster?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really may be able to do that. I mean, this is sort of my cautious, because I tend to be cautious and try to be real realistic, right? Partly it depends on how quickly I can get connected with people in Savannah and begin providing services here, right? I'm new here, didn't know anybody for a long time. So this is a great opportunity.
have you worked much with HR departments at the larger corporations, at the school board? They hire 500 new teachers every year.
Yes.
And they go through that many because they don't last that long. It seems like something like this would be beneficial to go in and kind of mass work with groups of teachers, groups of
Yes.
management, and that sort of thing.
Absolutely. And really, what I have some of that in mind when I get to the, which isn't on my slide, because I was trying to keep it simple, the consulting with organizations, right? And so I figure it's going to take me a little bit of time to sort of get established as somebody that knows what I'm doing, at least theoretically. But I do, and so I figure by 2023, I should be in a good space to do that, if not sooner.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you all.
Fausta, I realized you did not list lawyers as compassionate professionals in your slide.
But they're on the list.
And
They're on my list, absolutely.
that's very hurtful to me. People who know me well call me Mr. Sensitive. In fact, I formed an organization. It's the Association of Sensitive Souls. Most of the time people call me by the acronym. My son just passed the bar exam, and I don't think we'll ever practice law together. But if we did, it would be herring and herring for the people.com. But you can't get me in the shower. Judges, are you ready?
Almost.
Another story.
For my next number.
All right.
All right. Last, by no means least, Carrie King with Bad Gateway Games. Carrie, come on up.
All right. Okay, we can hear me. Cool. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Carrie King. I'm just one of 6 pieces of a SCAD student development team of Bad Gateway Games based here in Savannah. And we need your help to continue development on our debut title before it's too late. So, right now, the video game industry is in the midst of a controversy that seems to arise every few years. Violent video games are the cause of violence in American youth. Now, studies have proven time and time again this just ain't a thing. So, the problem isn't that there are violent video games. The problem is that there's nothing but violent video games in the AAA market. We want to be the change. So, okay. So that brings me to before it's too late. This is stressing me. Technical difficulties. Okay, so that brings me to before it's too late. You play as a ghost trapped in a haunted mansion for the rest of eternity. Meddling kids keep poking their noses where they don't belong, and you're trying to save them. In order to do this, you have to traverse around the environment and use a number of ghostly abilities in order to get them out. We currently have 4 levels with a goal to have at least 12 before launch and more to come after. Okay. Our target market for this is between the ages of 18 and 30, casual gamers. We chose this market, 1, because it's relatable to us. Our whole team is under the age of 30. We can have some insight into the demographic. Secondly, quantity. According to a 2018 study by the Pew Research Center, about 30% of gamers in America are between the ages of 18 and 30. And lastly, design. Our game, as you can see, is a very stylish, kind of cute game, and this appeals to casual gamers, while the actual game and the depth of it appeals to more experienced players. Our competition. We're an indie studio, so the companies you see here are also indie studios, but their games tend to be a little bit more violent, whereas we are very much taking the non-violent approach. This is a market that we're trying to tap into that is very underserved in all throughout the industry, not even just indie or AAA. We do plan to make a name for ourselves with this non-violence, and any other games going on in the future that will go under our label will be non-violent and will do different forms of engagement. Our cash flow, this is for our first full year. As you can see, we have our best expected and minimum outcomes.
As a grandparent with 3 teenage grandchildren, 13, 15, and 16, I love this idea. I think it's absolutely wonderful that we can have something that is productive and not killing people, and I think it's just awesome. It's wonderful. My concern is does it work on Apple computers?
We can get it to. Currently, we're only on PCs, but it's very easy to make the transition because you actually only use a controller. You don't actually use mouse and keyboard.
So you can sell this on the Apple Store, and
yeah.
And with the new rollout, Apple's got a new thing with their new.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks really cool.
Yeah, we can definitely easily transition over to Apple console. Takes a little bit of development transitioning and licensing and stuff with Xbox, but we can easily get console. We're hoping by the following year.
Can you speculate on why you don't have competition, or you just don't see a lot of titles in this non-violent space?
There is title, like different cute casual titles as we're kind of going with our game, but a lot of them are just mobile games that tend to be more addictive, and then other than that, there's really not a whole lot. There is some things every once in a while that you'll see, but they just don't take off. They'll, like, one YouTuber will play it once, and that's all you ever see of it, and you never hear it of again. So we're trying to go beyond that. We're trying to really get this out there and be like, hey, you don't have to play a game that is just you shooting and killing somebody over and over again. You can play a game where you're a cute ghost, and you're going around trying to save people, and like you're trying to help them without hurting them.
Thanks. So love the idea of nonviolent gaming. Love the team. But this is really hard, right?
Yeah.
So, like, how it's going to need more than social media.
Yeah.
To get people to buy it. So
we do plan to recruit influencers, YouTubers, trying to get while getting the biggest names out there would be great, like PewDiePie or Jacksepticeye. That'd be great. But even getting even the next step down, we plan to do that and reach as many as we can and just kind of just really throw it out there and be like, hey, play this. please, like, show people that there's something else. Social media, it's very different. It can be hit or miss with it. So I see where you're coming from with that. But doing like interviews, we also plan to go to conferences and conventions. I meant to mention that. Right before release and right after, we'll be going to conventions, doing all of that, really letting people get hands-on with it so that they can like it a little bit more.
I guess one thought I have around that is that I think we just won the TripAdvisor Most Haunted City award, so is there a play there to leverage that to say, coming from America's Most Haunted City, you know?
That was not something I had thought of, but now that you mention that, yeah, that would be amazing.
Are there other ways to generate revenue on games other than just, you know, the 99 cents or $2 if you're buying it on the App Store, or $10 or whatever? I don't know how much they cost.
There is. Usually with that, especially with games, is putting ads in the game, and we're trying to avoid that as much as possible. What we are keeping that as like a fail-safe of if we need to, we will, but we're trying to avoid it. That's the main thing. I mean, of course, selling merch, like t-shirts, all that kind of thing, that is another thing we could do too, but again, we're trying to just mainly focus on the game, and if we feel like we can expand, we will. Definitely.
Which meant going back to your financials.
Yes.
Question. The broader community might think that this is a problem to solve, but gamers themselves seem to be attracted to what's already out there.
Yeah.
Do they see this as a problem, that they're hungry for something different, that like what you're offering?
I think like as being a gamer myself and my companions in SCAD and everything, we all agree violence, it's very much a crutch. Like, the industry is like, oh, violent video games, it works, let me make that. So gamers, like, even if they're not developers, they know the industry uses it as a crutch because they know it'll sell. So they know that, like, if there is something else, it's worth playing because they're like, that's not something that is necessarily as big, and so they want to help make it as big. So we do see it as a problem, whether like we feed into it or not, we do recognize it.
Carrie, thank you very much. I'm glad your market is for people under age 30. As a compassionate professional, of a certain age, I can relate to the little ghost who feels like he's trapped in eternity and will never escape. The retirement ceremony for a lawyer is when they zip you up in the body bag and carry you out the front door. But I digress. Our judges continue to work, and then soon they will leave the room to deliberate, and we will hear from Michael a little bit more about the judging process.
Thank you, Wade. Okay. So we're going to now let the judging begin, and the judges will retire with Mr. Duffy. Nope, I'm going to move on. That's all right. We're going to tell you how they're going to judge this. So the judges have been scoring our finalists on 7 criteria. First is the problem or need. Was the problem or need clearly defined, and is it compelling? An approach. Does the proposed product or service directly address the problem or need, and how innovative or creative is it? benefits, marketing, and competition? Is there a clear value proposition supported by an effective marketing strategy and competitive differentiation? Financials, excuse me. Was financial information provided? Were startup revenue and expense assumptions reasonable? And can this business be financially viable? Presenter background and experience. Does the presenter have the background and experience to successfully start, manage, and grow this business? Overall pitch and Q&A performance. Was the presenter clear, concise, convincing, engaging, passionate, knew their facts, and handled the Q&A well? An invitation. This is, based on what you saw and heard, would you invite this company for further discussions? Okay, so those are the criteria. Each of the criteria will be rated on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest. As Mr. Duffy was saying, we're going to aggregate all the judges' scores, and the ones at the that have the highest scores and the judges feel did the best job will be selected as our 3 winners. Okay. So at this time, what we'd like to do is we would like to honor our BizPitch finalists, and we would like to have each of you come up. We have a certificate of participation for all of you that we want to hand to you. And would you come up in your order, and then please stand on here so our videographers or photographers can take a group photo. Okay, LB and Carmen, congratulations. I'm going to stand out here a little bit. All right, Miss Charlene, just come on up, folks. Congratulations. Too bad. All right, Maria and Michael, congratulations. There you go. Oops. Okay. Now we have Tora. Congratulations. Okay. And Andrew. Thank you. Fausta. Congratulations. And Carrie. Congratulations. All right, let's have a big round of applause for all our finalists. All right, I want to be sure that
what we'd like to do at this time is ask the winners of last year's BizPitch to come up and tell you a little bit about their experience over the last year, what it's been like for them and their business. So Carrie and Christy, Jason, Ian, if you're in the audience, if you'll come on up, I'll let you decide what order you want to go in, and we'll go from there.
Hi, I'm Christy Duncan. I'm one half Scribble Subscription Box, one of last year's winners, and we make art and craft kits for kids with a focus on creative play. Since winning last year, we launched a successful Kickstarter campaign and exceeded our goal with our subscription boxes. Recently, we have developed individual boxes that are kind of one-time kits and have focused on wholesale to other kids' art studios as well as retail. And this winning BizPitch kind of jump-started our company. We still meet regularly with Ned Duffy. He's been wonderful and will even point us to other SCORE mentors when he thinks that they can help as well. He and SCORE have been invaluable part of our company, and yeah, we can't thank everyone enough.
Hi, my name is
is Jason. I tend to be obnoxious enough the microphones aren't necessary. I am a veterinary neurologist and neurosurgeon here in Savannah, but I'm also the founder of HEAL, which is our veterinary service app. It's a prescription reminder system. Since BizPitch, I mean, first of all, what you get out of this is amazing. The ability to laser focus what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish, what your problem is, and how you're going to do that. It's been really, really invaluable. And keep in touch with your mentors. Mine was Dennis, and he's amazing. I keep in touch with him on a regular basis. You also get a lot of really good information from the people that are giving you in-kind services. I mean, you can learn a lot from those guys as well. To that end, man, I haven't really done as much as they have. We've had some changes in ours. It's a software as a service, so that's always being iterated and changing. I'm in the midst of what you might call founder sales, or the hustle part, where you're really just trying to get people to sign up and use the product. That is really a challenge. I'm not a salesperson, but in the end, you're passionate enough about your project, which you all are, quite obviously, and that'll carry you a long way. So right now we've got we're up to 7 practices using the app currently. We're at around 2,000 people that have downloaded and are using our app, and we're trying to gain more traction. One of the things that I've been sort of knuckleheaded about was the fact that I really didn't want to do some of the things that other people are doing. Truth is, you kind of got to get in there and fight with them sometimes toe to toe. So the little guy's coming for you. You know who you are, right? But yeah, this has been a wonderful experience. Congratulations to all of you. It's been really, really impressive to see how this has grown from last year, and to see the ideas and just the rich culture of entrepreneurship that's here in Savannah. It's amazing. So congratulations to you.
Hi, my name's Ian Reddick. I'm the founder of Reddick Design. I designed a fully modular, collapsible electric guitar. Over the course of the past year, I actually sort of went back to the drawing board on that design to create something that still addresses customer needs at a more economical price point. Sort of streamlined my approach to the instrument, and so that I've sort of taken a few steps back from where I thought I would be at this point, but I'm presently doing market evaluation and lots and lots of research. But the experience of BizPitch was incredibly helpful to me. SCORE has helped me get started, put me in touch with all sorts of support that I've needed to get to where I'm at right now. Really the BizPitch, the success that I had last year at BizPitch is one of the only reasons why I can still be moving forward at this point, however slowly it's going. So very optimistic about 2020, and congratulations to all the finalists.
By the way, thank you. Good to see you again. By the way, I noticed that there are other finalists here from 2018, right? So I would like all the other finalists who are also winners, if you would stand, please, so we can recognize you. No, Mark? All right, very good. Congratulations. Okay. Wade, I think I'm good. And Tom Greenlaw, if you'd come on up here. Okay. You ready? Yeah. All right. And I'm sorry, for the first award, I would like to invite up Carl Biafro from the City of Savannah's Office of Business Opportunity, one of our gold sponsors, and he's going to assist me in awarding our first winner. And Wade, who is our first winner?
Our first winner is Maria Vaughn and Michael Weedham.
Okay, perfect. Congratulations. What a great job. Congratulations.
We met about a year ago and we talked, and
Right.
I'm glad to see that you're still going, and I hope you're working out some of those wrenches we talked about earlier.
We can do a photo op with Howard. Wonderful. You get in the middle, you guys get in the middle. Yay, thank you, congratulations. Yeah, you go, stay on stage, that would be fine. We'd like to invite up Lisa Narcisse from BB&T, another one of our gold sponsors, to help us with the presentation of our second winner.
Our second winner is Charlene Diamond.
You're welcome. Okay.
One more time. There we go.
And Bob McWilliams, come on up. Bob McWilliams is with Mass Mutual, a great partner of ours, and he braved the traffic coming all the way back from Atlanta to be with us today. We appreciate it. So Bob, come on up and help us.
And our final winner for today is LB Elm.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Carmen. You're welcome. No, no, come back, Elby. Come back. Photo up.
All right, good job.
Congratulations, ladies.
So, congratulations to our 3 finalist winners, but I think everyone would agree, everyone who presented today is a winner.
We want them to hold a very important prop. The 3 winners will all get $2,500 in cash and $8,500 in professional services for a total of $33,000 to help them get going.
Good job. Good job, y'all.
All right. Yay. You are welcome. You earned it. Okay. Congratulations to all of our winners and to all of our finalists. We would like to invite our finalists, judges, sponsors, donors, and event organizers to an informal reception out here in the lobby. We got our group photo, and this concludes our competition. As I said, if you're interested in meeting with one of our amazing Savannah SCORE mentors, we have the request forms right out on the table, savannah.score.org, and we hope that you contact us, and we hope to see you next year at BizPitch Savannah 2020. Thank you.